やっておきたい英語長文500 19ラジオの役割 Communication is the means by which people create their identity. It underlines our sense of community, our sense of belonging, and our sense of difference. As patterns of communication change, so do the communities with which we identify. The printing press brought about a revolution in the spread of ideas and information. A more far-reaching revolution in communication came about at the end of the 19th century with the arrival of electricity and the first experiment in electric means of communication. This was the beginning of the information revolution, the possibility of communication as both global and internet at the same time. Although this possibility is inherent in the new technologies, it is far from a reality for most of the world's population. There are more telephones in Tokyo than in the whole of sub-Saharan Africa. Television is a mass media only in the most developed countries. Computers and the internet are not accessible to most of the world's poor. The information revolution had led to combining of the world's banking services, commodity markets, data systems, and capital flows, but has widened the division between the information haves and the information have-nots. Only one electric communication medium has become both an intimate and widespread presence throughout the developed world, and penetrated into the remotest rural areas of the poorest countries. That, of course, is radio. Bruce Girard has described the Latin American environment as a radiophonic salad. Upstate, private, church, university, special interest, and native people's radio stations. He describes a rapid increase in the use of radio by popular groups over the past 20 years. There are radio stations run by peasants organizations and women's groups, and there are radio stations run by the Catholic Church or by labor unions, such as those of the Bolivian dam miners. From these groups across the continent, radio programs have emerged will describe themselves as educational but are outside and unconcerned with the structures of formal education. Native people, for example, have their own radio stations which take account of local languages and traditions. Next to spoken language itself, radio is the easiest medium to use for learning and teaching. It is the most worldwide medium available and it's cheap and straightforward to set up. It potentially offers a bridge between the vast knowledge resources available through the internet and the millions of people who have access to no other means of electric communication. Community radio groups are already exploiting this opportunity through internet-based news and information services such as the Latin American radio news agency Pulsar. An inclusive, more equal, and more democratic society requires an inclusive and more open communications environment, which together we can call a communicative democracy. One element in the communicative democracy must be popular and open access to the media of mass appeal, and radio is the most suitable medium.